Johnson was forced to send a letter asking for a delay to Brussels. He also said, by the way, I don't want that. But doesn't the European Union basically have to grant this?
Good morning, Matt. Well, the mood here, I have to say, is just wait and see. One of the things that we are being told here in Brussels is that, in fact, the Prime Minister has not lost the vote yet. He's not been defeated, and a lot can happen from now until October 31st. In terms of the extension, well, they make note of it. But again, the European Union does not want to preempt the moves that the UK Parliament may make. There is a debate as to how long this extension, if granted, should go on for. I'm sure you saw those lines that came out of the Times of London yesterday saying that the EU will grant time until February 2020. That means that extra time can seal the deal, and the UK would be allowed to leave before that if any deal goes through. To answer your question, can this still be vetoed, blocked? Well, member states do have a right, but it does seem unlikely that a single member state would push the UK out of the EU, would trigger, precipitate a chain of events that nobody can really control. But the mood here at this point is just wait and see. Let's just see what the UK Parliament does, and then we'll make a decision.
All right, let's get over to David Merritt right now at Westminster. The key question I think everybody, Maria and everybody else in Brussels, is waiting to see the answer to: does Johnson have the votes to get this deal through?
Well, there is sort of, it's yes and no, perhaps, actually, is the rather confusing answer to that, Matt. I think, yesterday we had the Foreign Secretary, Dominic Raab, saying that, yes, they think the government do have that magic 320 number to pass a so-called meaningful vote. That's what they tried to do on Saturday and failed. They may get another chance to do that today, but that's not the end of the story. They need to also get the Withdrawal Agreement Act passed into law. That is probably going to be far more complicated. We're already seeing the Labour Party talking about the amendments they might put on that legislation, things like committing to a customs union, which kind of really rips up a big chunk of Mr. Johnson's deal, or perhaps even this question of a confirmatory vote or a second referendum or a people's vote, whatever you want to call it. So there's many more hurdles to get through in order to get Brexit done than just getting a simple majority on the main question in the House of Parliament. This is the big question that vexed Mrs. May. Getting anything through this place really is far harder than it might seem.
When are we going to know, David, if John Bercow allows a vote on the meaningful vote today, and when will we see all the amendments tabled for tomorrow?
Well, it's incredibly complicated, and we're really getting into the weeds here of the unbelievably complex procedures that we have in the place behind me. But Mr. Bercow, the Speaker, will rule at some point later today, possibly not until this afternoon, whether or not we're going to get this meaningful vote that the government wants today. Why might he not allow it? Well, he says it's already been asked on Saturday, and rules of Parliament say you can't ask the same question in the same sitting twice. Now, of course, these are fairly exceptional circumstances, so he may still let that vote go through. If that doesn't happen, or even if it does, tomorrow we're going to get the first of the votes on the actual Withdrawal Act, and that later in the day is amendable, and we fully expect Labour, the Labour Party, to table first of all this question about a customs union. They're going to try and make the deal a lot softer, much closer ties going forward with the European Union, and rumours that the DUP might be on board with that, because of course keeping the whole of Britain in the customs union will take away that thing that they dislike so much, which is this question of a border down the Irish Sea. So yes, probably today and tomorrow are going to be really crucial days. We're going to get a sense of what sort of direction the opposition is going to take, and if they have the numbers to really stop Mr. Johnson's deal in its tracks.